Welcome to the Babies in Business Podcast. Join your hosts, Rachel and Avram Gonzalez, real-life parents and business partners. Each week on Babies in Business, Rachel and Avram create a space for entrepreneurial parents to find their own way. They'll dive into insights on topics like leadership, efficiency, self-awareness, budgeting, and human psychology as they nurture their family and build their business. Here's your hosts, Avram and Rachel.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you should have seen us before turning on this recording. I think last week we must have tripped the breaker in the garage. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a little air conditioning unit out here under our, we got a little storage area. You might have heard us share this before, like an elevated rack in the garage. So 4x8. We wrapped it and it's basically with painter's cloth. And now there's camping storage above us where we're sitting right now. And we're encapsulated in this cool little 4x8.
It helps reduce the echo and the sound. The dog isn't in the background, all the things that it helps with.
But it is sweltering hot when there is nothing to cool it. So yeah, we just went on that adventure figuring out what we actually tripped and fixing that. But now we know next time.
We had to have a solution.
Yeah.
I wrote down the note. Now we know how to do it next time in 2 seconds.
It will happen again. Listen, today we have a groundbreaking podcast for you, reflecting on some things that we've been going through recently on this Genesis experience. We chatted about it with you a couple episodes ago, our experience with Genesis. Today, we're looking at how annoyed, well, I'll speak for me, how annoyed I've been with some of the shares and things in the Genesis X program.
Yeah.
That brought up the topic for today. A quote was shared with me 15 years ago. I was at T. Harv Ekker's Millionaire Mind Intensive, and one of the things that they would say over and over, you can be right or you can be rich. And I want to unpack that for you with Rachel's help, because I believe that you can have anything that you want in life if you give up all of your points of view about what it takes.
Yeah. And that is harder than it sounds.
Yep.
Or maybe you're sitting here thinking, wait, what? That sounds impossible. So you may already have gone there and said, that's impossible. But it is pretty difficult to wrap your head around that. But my experience through Genesis has helped me to actually understand and see just how possible pretty much anything is, just with a really quick, simple shift of mindset.
Yeah. What does it mean to be right versus rich and you can't be both? I think it's really easy to see in others, which is why we're bringing up the contrast that we're able to see easily in other people.
Yeah.
When you turn the light back around on yourself, sometimes it's harder to see.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Things become so clear when we're looking outwards because we don't have any of the judgments about what is and is not an option for us. So when we might look at somebody else and see that they're really struggling, we could see a really clear path through. But it's because we have none of the baggage that comes along with what got us there in the first place, possibly. Mm-hmm. You know, when we look at our own situation, we have all the things going on in our head of, I've tried that. It never works.
Yeah.
I've done this. It doesn't. We have all these things that we automatically rule out for so many reasons. And some of it is invisible to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it works for them, but it wouldn't work for me.
Absolutely.
That's a big one.
Absolutely.
And so I think the right versus rich, if we look at the gap between where we are right now and where we want to be, listening to this podcast, you're somebody who wants more for your life.
Yeah.
Right? We're on the same journey together. We want more too. And so we look at the gap between where we are now and there, and we've recently come to the realization, again, like I feel like I've had this realization so many times in life, that we're here right now as a result of all of the thinking, all of the decisions, all of the perspectives that we have of life itself.
Yes.
Have brought us to this point. And unless we change some of those ingredients, in particular the perspective that we have on life and the points of view we have about ourselves, then we unlock another possibility.
Absolutely. That makes me think about the lucky person
Yeah.
that you've seen in your life. The people listening here, I bet you can think of that one person in your life that's just simply lucky. They speed and they never get a ticket. They're the ones that are going to win the lottery. If there's a raffle, they're going to win it. Who is that person? In my life, that's you. You're the lucky person. And for the first part of our relationship, I would look at you and think, gosh, how's that possible? But you were inviting me to see a different reality for myself. So we can judge the people that are the lucky people around us, or we can ask the question, what are they doing differently? And maybe, honestly, I think it's just the mindset shift.
It really is. I think back on all of the different masterminds that I've been a part of that helped me grow the business. And in every single one of those rooms, there were top performers. And some of those top performers were the actual coaches or instructors. And in those environments, it's very clear, okay, they have what I want.
Yeah.
And if I were to look at the content and the context of what makes up their day, it would be different than what makes up mine.
Sure.
If we were to peel open their brains, right, and view all the thoughts and then compare them to mine, they're probably different.
Yeah.
Right? So what do they believe about themselves that's different?
And what they can have and
And what-
achieve and be and do. Yeah, absolutely.
What are the actual things that they're doing? That's
Sure.
actually secondary.
Sure.
But you realize that there is a difference in that in order for you to get what they've got, you have to become and do different things.
Like them. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot of us get stuck and we find ourselves bumping up against the limit of what we have been willing to do. And so for me, I remember hearing you can be right or you can be rich. And I just told myself, I was like, okay, everything that got me to here is good to get me to here.
Yeah.
But it is all the wrong ingredients to get me to the next level.
Sure.
And so I think there's a willingness that you have to give up all of the reasons, the justifications, and the conclusions you have about, in this case, making money and having money and growing your money.
Right.
You have to not only become aware of those things, but then find the courage to give them up and move forward. It means acknowledging that you could be wrong
Yes.
about things, or
Absolutely.
a lot of things, or
everything. Absolutely. You kind of leave your pride at the door and you step off the ledge and you don't really know where your foot's going to land. But really, the people that achieve a lot are the ones that are willing to say, my foot is going to land on solid ground. I just may not be able to see it when I'm moving forward in that direction. It's a leap of faith, if you will. It's believing that the universe will provide. It can be all sorts of things. Name it whatever you want. But it's that concept, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like you look at what somebody else has that you want, and you have to ask, like, some of the most important questions you can ask people are like, so how do you see money? Or in this situation, maybe you share a situation that you've been going through with somebody that has achieved more, and you say, if you were in this situation as me, how would you view this?
Sure.
And that perspective that they bring to it is gold.
Yeah.
Because you are now stepping into the shoes of somebody who has what you want. You're borrowing their perspective, their experience, and applying it to where you are.
Yeah.
They are viewing it from a different level, right? They're a couple rungs up the ladder. So when they look down on what you've created, they have a set of perspectives that you do not.
Yep.
And I think it's really difficult to accept that sometimes, especially depending on where the information is coming from.
Sure.
It can be hard to listen to friends or family members about money.
Yeah.
You remembered
growing up with them.
You did, right? You did. You know, your classmates, they remember that time you pooped your pants. That didn't happen to me. Just letting you know, Rachel, that never happened to me. Just an example, okay?
Yeah, just out of the blue.
You can't be a prophet in your own hometown. So I think there's also like a lot of filters that we have about the people that might be giving us information.
And then we also have the stuff that's going on in the background that we're not even aware of. It's like the subconscious stuff that's going on. We as human beings are deriving meaning from everything that we're seeing. And if we are just simply looking into someone's life and seeing the success that they have and that we would like to see ourselves being there, we can go to a couple different places. It can be, that's them and that's not me. And we can form resentment towards them because we'll never achieve that. Or we can look at it and say, I know that I can achieve that, and I am dedicated to finding out how. So it's a different mindset of how we're going to go about it, like being determined, but also finding tools to help you to see that determination through, because determination only gets you so far, I think.
Yeah. I feel like every time that I have been questioned about my goals and my falling short of them,
Yeah.
those were the moments when I learned the most about what my mindset really was. Because when somebody would press me for the information about, like, why didn't you follow through?
Yeah.
Why do you think you didn't land there?
Sure.
What usually would come out next is all of the reasons and justifications for it.
Sure, like excuses.
Yeah, like, and if I wrote all those things down, those are all the reasons I feel right about my current situation. I feel
that's
correct.
what you get to keep, too.
That's what I get to keep, right? And so you write all those things down, and then you realize, okay, I could be right about this. I could continue to keep them.
Yeah.
And then I will continue to recreate this reality.
Sure.
Or I can dig a little deeper into each of them and figure out where they're really coming from.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
start blasting through those limitations. It's like, well, what if the reason that you decided you don't have the energy or the time to commit to it? Is that really true? You dig a little deeper, you realize I do have the time and the energy. It's just I don't want to, or I've never worked that hard, or I've never done this. And you're like, does that have to continue to be my story, or is that something that could change?
Sure.
When I was in my early 20s and I went to that Millionaire Mind Intensive, it was like I had so much less baggage and life experience than we do now that it felt so easy to change it. And when you've got a mountain of evidence that tells you otherwise, sometimes that list of the things that you're right about gets pretty long. But that list could be the entry point for you to be rich.
Yeah.
Your version of that, your version of success is on the other side of all of those excuses, those reasons, and justifications.
And we've received a lot of support in this way to help us see the ways that we're thinking and how we view the world and all the filter from which we look at the world and determine things. It's really been helpful to have gone through Genesis and then Genesis X, the 6-week program, to actually go through different things that we're talking about and then having homework to actually really see that in action in our life and get us to this next level of thinking and processing information. And it's such a tool. I just love how Cortland, our instructor or our facilitator, he invites to see what's going on in our life, but then he also holds us capable, meaning that we are capable and we do know the answers. And it may be painful, but we know the answers. And we can achieve a better life than we ever thought possible, but that we truly do want. So he also talks about how determination isn't enough, or being dedicated. You can be really in the zone and dedicated for like a day.
Yeah, easy.
But if it doesn't really align with how we see the world, how we filter things, it's not going to last. So how do we have that intrinsic change, like the real visceral change, the thing that's gonna change how we function in the world? And I'm really excited to see what's next.
Yeah. For me, the number one facilitator of jumping to the next level has been the decision to invest my time and my money into a program that is specific to up-leveling something.
Yeah.
And I found that when I put my money towards something, I take it more seriously.
Absolutely.
There's an interesting illusion with transformation, which is you currently have everything that you require to go to the next level.
Yes.
But when you look at all the times and places in your life where you did go to the next level, yes, it came down to your choice and your decision. But a lot of times there's some kind of external circumstance or something that you engage in.
Absolutely.
That creates that inspiration and that shift in you, that I've had enough of this and I'm ready to change it.
Sure.
For me, every time I wanted to do some kind of program and I didn't have the money, the first thought that would come up would be something like, I can't afford that. So if I was looking at that list that I was telling you about earlier and I wrote down, I can't afford that, well, do I want to be right about that? Or do I want to be in the program and go to the next level?
How can I change that reality
How can
and
I
be
change
able
that?
to afford it?
Right? And so it's like I would look at that and I would say, well, how can I afford it? And every single time I flipped it and then I got to work on, saying, okay, I would like to go. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I'm going to do what I need to do to come up with the money and the resources to go. You know what's crazy? So much of the transformation involved in the program ended up happening before I even got to it. It happened because I chose to find and come up with the money to do it.
Sure.
That is an important part of the journey. So, how long do you want to be right about your current situation, how stuck you are?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what level you are, stuck is stuck.
Yep.
If you've been there for a couple months or a couple years, you're stuck.
For all your life.
All your life.
You have a lot of evidence to prove that you will always have this as your reality.
You can choose something different and just ask, like, how can I?
Yeah.
Flip the
That's
script.
a powerful question.
How can I?
Absolutely.
Because you can.
You can.
You can. And there's plenty of evidence of people that have gone before you that have accomplished amazing things with less than you have. And it is possible when we abandon the things that we think are true about us that are actually holding us back.
Yeah.
So if you want more information about Genesis, you can go to the show notes, babiesandbiz.com/98. That's this episode number. We have other resources, things that we mention here. We always put that stuff in the show notes. So if you type that into your browser or follow the link inside of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening, you'll be able to go over to the website and grab that information. Yeah, with that being said, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Babies in Business podcast. Who do you know that would benefit from hearing this episode? Share it with them and post about it on social media. You can find the show notes for this episode, free downloads, and connect with the rest of the community at babiesandbiz.com. We'll see you next time.